The Saiyans arrive on Earth, but unfortunately for them this time, it's not such an easy battle. With every fighter involved being stronger, and more fighters being there in general, our heroes were able to ward the Saiyans off, defeating Nappa and causing Vegeta to retreat. But what are they supposed to do now? Vegeta's definitely going to come back, and they don't know when. And little do they know, other things are going on out in space. We'll cover all that and more in part 3 of What If the Z-Fighters Broke Their Limits. Immediately after Vegeta departs, the group needs to figure out what to do next, and Piccolo has the perfect idea. If they really want to get strong, they should head to King Kai's planet for gravity training. That did wonders for him, and he's sure everyone else will benefit from it too. Vegeta definitely will be back, probably stronger than before thanks to the Zenkais that he gets. Next time they're going to have to find a way to finish it instantly, and they were almost able to do that here, but if they just had a little bit more power, then they'd be able to do that easily. Goku looks forward to fighting him again too. And this King Kai guy sounds pretty cool. I mean, look at what he did for Piccolo. Piccolo's like the strongest of the group now, it's awesome. Bulma eventually gets word of this too, and decides that maybe it's not best if they go to King Kai's planet. She could do something even better. What if she made a room where gravity could be adjusted to whatever level they want? Not just 10 times Earth gravity, but even up to 100, 300, whatever. They can continuously increase it. And they trust her to find this out. They know she's definitely capable of doing so. And she ends up building a gravity chamber. So instead of everyone going to King Kai's planet, they decide to train here. Honestly, it's probably for the better. King Kai's been watching, and he didn't really want that many people on his planet. It could have been fun, but for such a small planet, he can't have a bunch of people on there. They could try and learn the Kaioken later. And as for Piccolo, he'll just continue practicing with it. Now with this gravity room built by Bulma and her dad, everyone's got the perfect way to train. Yamcha also continues to try and reconcile with Bulma as well. The best part is he's actually still alive after the Saiyan saga. And whenever they're gravity training, they're near Capsule Corp anyways. Yamcha probably even goes to Krillin for advice. Not the best person for that, but Krillin supports his friend. Not like anyone else would have great advice for him. And this is actually pretty important because remember, this was one of the main factors to motivate Yamcha's training. Not too noble of a reason, but doing that to impress Bulma, hey, at least it's something. Some time passes. Vegeta's still healing, and Frieza looks more into Earth, trying to figure out what this planet was that Vegeta went to, and more importantly, why only one of them came back. Some scouts are sent around the planet too, and they notice there's some fluctuating powers. Most of the population seems to have really low powers, but occasionally, their scouters will pick up on some other powers, and they rapidly fluctuate. A normal power could suddenly shoot up to about 10,000, and then right back down. There's others that are fluctuating within the thousands range, and then going up to the tens of thousands range. There's even one that hits 6 figures pretty early on. They think their scouters are malfunctioning, but Frieza says that's probably not the case. He definitely wants to continue looking into this. And they need to examine this planet more closely. Piccolo's out in a wasteland one day. He needs some more open room to practice with Kaioken, and thankfully Ten and Yamcha are here too to help him with that. Wanting to spar with Piccolo in order to face him at his full strength. And they notice some sort of strong power nearby. Not particularly strong, but way stronger than anyone they've sensed on Earth. Probably only a couple hundred or a couple thousand. There's a few of them, some scouts that are here. Crap, they're noticed. How did the scouts get noticed? These guys don't have scouters. There's no way they'd be able to detect them. But the scouts are pretty intrigued because it seems like there's aliens here. Look at Piccolo, that Namekian. Frieza wonders if there's any other aliens there. More scouts are sent on Earth to get a closer look. These scouts that are spotted get eliminated instantly, and the entire battle is transmitted back to Frieza. They're able to manipulate their powers at will. These scouts were no match for them. Even one of them individually could have wiped out multiple scouts at once. But one of the scouts details something that seems pretty interesting. An Earthling that looks very familiar. Or maybe it isn't an Earthling. He can't really tell, but Frieza gets a closer look, and he sees exactly what's happening here. That isn't an Earthling. He racks his brain. He kind of recognized this guy. That hairstyle. That's a Saiyan. There's no doubt. He looks just like that one that rebelled so long ago. And then it all makes sense. That's why Vegeta went there. This Saiyan resembling that other Saiyan. Maybe they're related. Or maybe this Saiyan was actually related to one of the others in his crew. This is why Raditz, Nappa, and Vegeta all went there. But he wonders if this is worth his time. He doesn't necessarily know of anything valuable on Earth, but the powers do concern him. A Saiyan growing that strong, especially because it looks like he has a kid too. They're procreating. More Saiyans maybe. This angers him to no end. He thought he wiped out all the Saiyans so long ago, but no, there's a survivor out there. I mean, he knew about Vegeta, but at least Vegeta, he can keep under his control. This Saiyan, he knows nothing about him. He needs to fix this issue before it becomes an issue. Vegeta's of course completely left in the dark. At some point he does fully heal, and he starts training again, preparing to head back to Earth on his own. Some other Frieza soldiers are making some really weird remarks to him, like they know about something that he doesn't. Or rather, they know that Vegeta knows something that they don't. And Vegeta's getting a little suspicious. Frieza slowly starts moving out the army. He doesn't want Vegeta to know at all. Actually, Frieza does give Vegeta a mission. Frieza was going to have the Ginyu Force go to some other planet, but he actually needs the Ginyu Force with him. Instead, Vegeta could go to this place. It's some weird planet called the Yardrat. He'll be able to handle it himself. Let's get into some power levels right now. Piccolo's at a power of about 50,000. But what's most interesting is that he's practiced more with Kaioken, getting it up to even times 40 by now. Goku was actually able to use times 20 by the time he was on Namek. And like I mentioned before, Piccolo could handle Kaioken better thanks to him having regeneration. So it's not unrealistic to assume that by this point he'd have an even higher level of Kaioken. and by training at these higher levels as well, it does help him grow faster. Roshi's actually not too far behind Piccolo's base power. At full strength, Roshi's at 45k. He wants to remain ahead of his students, Krillin and Goku, who are both at 40,000. He tells them he still has some tricks up his sleeve, and as their master, he does need to have a higher power than them, in order to push them to their absolute limits. Chi-Chi's not too far behind, at 35,000, with Tenshinhan and Yamcha also at the same power. Surprisingly enough, Gohan's at 30,000, at least when he's controlled. They don't know the extent of his full power, with him still not having controlled it fully. And even Chaozu's at a pretty high level, 30,000 as well. Although unlike Gohan, this is his actual limit. And Yajirobe comes in and out, but he's still Yajirobe and probably still a little bit too lazy. We'll be generous. Let's put him at 5,000, I guess. More of the Frieza Force descends on the planet soon enough. The group already expected some sort of alien invasion after seeing all those scouts, but they don't know who this is. I mean, they're wearing those same scouters that the Saiyans had, so it must be related. They do remember hearing from Raditz and even Vegeta that there was some Frieza guy out there. It must be him. Zarbon and Dodoria are the first to arrive, and just as they do, they're immediately eliminated, with a bunch of soldiers following it. Great, looks like they have to fight these guys now. It's just waves of random soldiers that they have to defeat, which isn't too tough, but still, it's annoying that they have all these people here on Earth, especially because some of them do need to end up spreading out actually, with certain Frieza Force soldiers trying to attack cities and whatnot, seeing if they could find anything valuable. Frieza watches from above. He still doesn't want to get his hands dirty, but he knows exactly who to send in. They're already with him. It's why he sent Vegeta to Yardrat after all. The Ginyu Force is here. He didn't really want to resort to them this soon, but they should be able to handle this. He knew that the Earthlings would probably be a little bit stronger than he expected, but not this much. Defeating his army that quickly? It's interesting. So, the Ginyu Force are sent in, on a new special mission to eliminate these fighters. All the Frieza soldiers stop coming in, but the group sees 5 space pods heading down. Everyone flies over to where they're gonna land, grouping together once more. Bulma even flies over too, curious as to what's going on. She was told it's dangerous, but she honestly doesn't care. She wants to see if she could scavenge any tech from the army. Also, she might be able to gather some Dragon Balls if needed, because there is a lot of needless destruction here. The group is protecting Earth, trying to keep casualties to a minimum, but they can't protect everything. And they're furious about that. Having this whole army here against them is not fair. But now things have calmed down. There's only these 5 soldiers left. But from what they could sense, they seem pretty powerful, so maybe this is the real deal. The Ginyu Force steps off their ships, striking a pose. And immediately, they get down to business. And Ginyu could tell from their powers, he has no need to swap bodies because everyone's weaker than him anyways. Except for one guy, that Namekian. His power briefly flares up at some points, even going past 1 million, 2 million even. It's very brief, but still, that's worth noting. Maybe he could steal that guy's body, ending this fight quickly. Right now the battle's not too tough, but this will just make the battle even easier. And he's able to use his trump card, swapping bodies with Piccolo without anybody knowing, at least not at first. And once he's in Piccolo's body, he realizes he's actually weaker now. Not only can't he tap into Piccolo's full base power, but he can't use Kaioken. And Piccolo's confused at first, but laughs. Seems like Ginyu played himself. He might have Piccolo's body, but he doesn't have Piccolo's power. Not at all. And he tells everyone, Ginyu probably doesn't know how to regenerate either. So he tells everybody, hold nothing back, just don't kill him. But any injuries, it doesn't matter. And Ginyu wonders why they're doing this. They completely overwhelm Ginyu in Piccolo's body. And Piccolo's right. Ginyu doesn't even know about the regeneration or how to use it. He takes a lot of damage in the battle, and he realizes he needs to jump to another body right now. This was actually a terrible maneuver. At least the rest of the Ginyu Force is able to keep up, but now, Ginyu's being beaten up. He sets his sights on Roshi next. Maybe he could take his body. So quickly, he tries to swap with Roshi, and Roshi quickly vanishes as the beam flies far away, completely missing Roshi. But Roshi then grabs onto Ginyu's body, flinging it far into the distance, trying to make it hit that beam. And it works. The two swap bodies again, with Piccolo back in his original body, instantly trying to regenerate any damage. He still is a little bit worn out, but at least he's not bleeding out like that body. Piccolo quickly launches a blast in the distance, which hits Ginyu head on, destroying him instantly. The rest of the Ginyu Force continues to fight, and honestly it's not too bad. There's only the 4 of them and they are powerful, but the group is able to actually hold them off pretty well. Golo's the most annoying, being able to stop time by stopping his breath. They try to attack him, but the rest of the Ginyu Force defends him, knowing that he's their most valuable asset right now, funnily enough. But out of nowhere, Golo randomly explodes, and the group senses another high power. Vegeta's there, furious. They didn't even see his ship get here, and he's absolutely livid right now. He knew Frieza was trying to pull something on him. Once he assigned him on that weird mission to Yardrat, he knew something was up. He'll head to that planet later on. Seems like he could probably learn something useful there, but he didn't stay on Yardrat to fight. The second he got there, he saw that all the Frieza troops are heading towards Earth. They wanted to get Vegeta away before moving in. Frieza knew this detour for Vegeta wouldn't work for too long, but it would at least hold him off. And he's amazed that everyone defeated the Ginyu Force. The group's ready to fight Vegeta too, and he's ready to fight them. Now with Frieza's army gone, it seems like there's nobody to fight here, except for one person, Frieza himself. He descends on the planet. A little bit ticked off, but not really too surprised. Impressive. He honestly thought the Ginyu Force would kill everybody, but that idiot Ginyu had to try and swap bodies with Piccolo, not realizing that Kaioken was an innate power of his. Everyone tries to attack Frieza at once, but he just stands there taking it. Nothing hurts him, at least not at first. Piccolo goes into Kaioken times 40, and he's able to significantly injure Frieza too. Why is this Namekian so powerful? He transforms into his second form. It's still not enough. Piccolo can use times 40 pretty easily, and actually, he tries to push it higher during battle, to times 50, maybe even a little bit more. Kaioken still does drain his stamina. Even though he can mitigate it tearing his body apart, he still can't mitigate the fact that regeneration takes some stamina to do. He still has to kinda use it sparingly. Piccolo tries to finish this as quickly as possible. Even though Frieza transformed, he still has an opening, and Vegeta just watches on dumbfounded. Frieza transformed and he's never seen this before, and even with that, Piccolo is still able to be ahead of him. Piccolo launches a full power blast at Frieza, trying to kill him right here and now. But the second it's about to hit, Frieza powers up once more, not even going to his third form, immediately going into his final form. The blast hits him. It does absolutely no damage, and any damage he took before, that's gone. He seems perfectly fine now. The group can sense Frieza's power. This is way too much. Nobody's gonna be able to handle this. Frieza smirks as Piccolo tries to attack him, then swiping his arm, chopping Piccolo's arm off without any effort at all. He then launches a death beam, with Piccolo barely being able to move out of the way. Immediately, he turns his attention over to the rest of the group, seeing the Saiyans there, specifically Goku. That's the one he wanted to get rid of, so he might as well do it while he still can. He points at Goku, launching a death beam right at him. Yamcha's able to barely push Goku out of the way, being hit by the death beam himself. Frieza chuckles at this. Fine, he'll just have a double kill then. He then points another finger at Goku, then being able to successfully hit him. Yamcha and Goku are on the ground critically injured. Frieza looks over at Gohan, about to launch a beam at him, but then getting punched right in the face by Chi-Chi, who heads right in with a huge rage boost, with the group noting that her power is increased. Gohan feels enraged too, jumping in fighting with her. Yamcha and Goku are writhing on the ground in pain, but Krillin comes over. They have a few Senzu beans at least, although not too many, but he gives one to each of them, with them healing fully, getting a huge boost in power. What the hell is this? Is this from them nearly dying? This power might help them. Their strength jumps significantly. Frieza is able to easily ward off Chi-Chi and Gohan. He delivers a swift punch to Gohan, hitting him right in the chest, and as he flies back towards the group, Frieza launches another death beam at him. And much to his surprise, Goku and Yamcha jump back in the fight. And after attacking Gohan just now, Goku's beyond furious. Same for Chi-Chi. The two fight together, with Piccolo and Yamcha at their side. Chi-Chi's strength is growing too. With her rage, she's surprisingly growing even stronger. And the only thing keeping Goku sane right now is the fact that they know that there's Senzu beans for Gohan. And Krillin's able to give him one. Gohan then jumps back into the battle too, and Frieza's confused. How are they getting back up from this? They seem completely healed and stronger than before. They're healing somehow, but how is that even possible? Frieza screams, with a massive explosion around him that sends everyone flying back. His eyes dart around, and he sees something interesting in the distance. A spaceship. And Goku notices Frieza's eyes lock onto it, and Frieza smiles. Maybe that's their healer, or one of their allies. And Goku yells out to Frieza, telling him not to do that. That's not a fighter. She's not involved at all. Yamcha's furious too, telling Frieza to stop it, and Frieza laughs. They seem upset. Piccolo powers up, yelling Kaioken times 100, launching right into Frieza, and just as he does, Frieza's hand pierces right through his chest, and he won't let this Namekian regenerate. Piccolo falls to the ground, with Frieza launching a point-blank blast at his head, brutally killing Piccolo. He chuckles. There goes their strongest fighter, and now, here goes their healer. Bulma's watching from afar and sees Frieza looking at her. Quickly she tries to fly the ship away, but then sees a light heading towards her, and the group watches from a distance as her ship explodes. Frieza chuckles, looking down at the ground at Piccolo's mutilated body. Looks like they all failed here, and Frieza asks, who wants to be next to die? Vegeta could be fun, or that other Saiyan, maybe his brat. He didn't succeed in killing them before, but now without their healer, or presumably their healer, he can kill them easily. Roshi, Krillin, Tenshinhan, and Gohan all power up, ready to fight instantly. Chi-Chi tries to keep Gohan back so he doesn't get killed, but right now, after being healed, he's actually one of the strongest people here. And she's furious too, but nervous, as is everybody else. And for some reason, Vegeta feels stunned. He doesn't know what to do. Goku and Yamcha decide to fly over to Bulma's ship, seeing if she's okay at all, but when they get there, there's nothing left. Goku and Yamcha frantically search. This is one of Goku's closest friends, and for Yamcha, also one of his friends that he's known for so long, and now his lover. Goku is already furious beyond belief, but Frieza does one more thing to push Goku over the edge. Goku senses a power disappear. It's Roshi's. Back at the scene of the battle, Roshi's in his full power, and Frieza attacks him, being the biggest target here. Roshi falls to the ground next, but Frieza's then blinded by a light in front of him, and he also notices one in the distance too. Gohan starts glowing. His teacher, he's gone. His family, they're threatened here. His friends too. He absolutely loses it, with his hair glowing golden as he transforms into his Super Saiyan. And that same golden light is in the distance too. Watching Gohan and Chi-Chi be hurt like that, also seeing Piccolo and Bulma die, that already sent Goku over the edge, and Roshi's death made him even more furious. A golden light launches in, as Goku then stands next to Gohan surprised. The two look at each other. They both transformed, and Frieza recoils in fear. Are those Super Saiyans? Vegeta can't believe what he's seeing, but at the same time, an ominous dark aura emanates from where Bulma's ship exploded, someone else runs over, on all fours actually. And Frieza can't even react. Before he could even see who's attacking, he's already being hit by a bunch of attacks, being slashed by claws it feels like. Out of fear, he jumps back. 2 Super Saiyans and then somebody else. He doesn't recognize this fighter, he looks completely different. It's Yamcha. He's transformed, almost looking like a wolf, transforming out of anger just like the Saiyans. Yamcha stands beside Goku and Gohan, in this new form that we'll call Alpha Yamcha. Krillin's back in full power, standing alongside the group 2, exploding with rage at Roshi's death. A giant Hulk and Krillin stands behind them, with 10 Chi-Chi and Vegeta standing back. But even though Chi-Chi knows she can't hurt Frieza, she can't just sit here. Her rage flares up again, and she yells out at Goku and Gohan to kill that bastard, and 10 cheers on too. Let's finish this here and now. Vegeta watches on. He can't believe his eyes. Super Saiyans. That Earthling, he transformed too. Maybe they actually have a chance here. Empowered by their transformations, empowered by their rage, and with Goku, Yamcha, and Gohan being empowered by Zenkais too. As well as the rest of the group being there too, ready to help. But Frieza might still be able to overcome them. This battle's not over yet, but this part is. This is where we'll leave off for now. So what do you guys think about this part? What do you think about the first human transformation being revealed here? Keyword, first. Let me know your thoughts and suggestions in the comments below. I'd love to see what you guys think. Be sure to drop a like and subscribe if you haven't already, especially if you want to see more like this. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in my next video.